Hello, spiritual fam. What's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics ever. As most of you know, if you have been following me for a while, I am a spiritual coach. And so obviously one of my favorite topics is to talk about spiritual awakenings and my own experience and some of the things that I have gone through and some things that I have also noticed in the community that a lot of us go through as a collective. And so I'm gonna share my 5 signs and 5 kind of like tips, if you wanna say, of what I experienced and that I know a lot of other people experience. So if you find that some of these things relate to you, then this might be exactly what you're going through as well. And I'm coming at you saying this as a spiritual coach and as someone who has gone through the lows and the darkness of healing and doing the inner work. And I'm coming to you saying there is light at the end of the tunnel, and you will start to understand why you went through so many things and why you experienced so many things and the pain and everything the way that you did. Just a quick backstory for some of the people out there who don't know my story and what I experienced. I basically was in Italy. I was overseas for my first time ever, and I had just recently gone through like a really bad breakup. And that was part of the reason why I ended up in Italy, because I was like, I'm gonna go eat, pray, love in another country, trying to heal. So I was actually with a friend of mine, and at the time we were in Venice, and we were sitting at a cafe, this beautiful cafe, and I was sitting there, and all of a sudden I was seeing things play out that I have seen before. And I have seen it in a dream play out, or I had just seen it in my mind's eye play out. And so in that moment, I did not know what was happening, but I just felt, you know how people say, deja vu, okay? Because you're seeing something that you've seen. There's a difference between deja vu and having visions or premonitions about things that are going to happen. There is a difference. So I was not having deja vu. I was seeing a previous premonition that I have come to life. And I realized what was happening, and I got this overwhelming feeling all over my body. I just felt super filled with emotions. I felt so filled up with all these emotions of just everything that I have been through, that I've been going through. All these emotions were coming to the surface, and I felt extremely overwhelmed. And I was like, what is happening? I was like, what is going on? I don't understand. And then I was like, this is the strongest I have ever had a premonition come through, and it was so powerful. And at that time, I obviously did not know what was going on with me, but I just was like, okay, I just had a crazy experience. I don't know what that was, but moving on. I don't know. I thought, I was like, maybe I'm just getting super overwhelmed and emotional because I'm in this beautiful country and I'm experiencing these things for the first time. But then I realized later on that that wasn't the case. Actually, my third eye was opening up. And so I was seeing things for the first time, truly. I was seeing things through my third eye. And if anyone experiences that, you know how overwhelming that can feel, and you know how almost scary it can feel. And just, it's our human nature sometimes to, when we experience something that we can't explain, we always just go, oh, I'm being crazy, I don't know what that is, and you just brush it off. Do not do that. That's your intuition is telling you that something is happening and you're experiencing something that's probably very spiritual, and it can be very beautiful. So don't brush it off. So that leads me into what happens after you have this maybe awakening moment. Some people do ayahuasca and they have this deep, profound awakening moment. Mine came on its own. So after I had that, I noticed kind of a series of events. And like I said, these are the things that I've noticed that happen to most people when they go through this awakening. So the first thing that you can start to notice is you will feel off balance. You will feel highly emotional. You will feel highly sensitive. You might feel extremely anxious in public situations. When you're around other people, you start to feel really anxious, and you're like, why do I feel like I'm having so much anxiety from being near people? And sometimes you're just like, what is happening? So I feel like that's one of the first parts of the journey is you start to question and you're like, what is happening with me? Why do I feel off? Why do I feel different? Why do I feel just like, I'm looking for something, but I don't know what it is. So that is part of one of the first things. You just start to question everything. You're questioning yourself. You're questioning the world around you. You're trying to figure out what is this experience that you're having because you don't understand it yet because you've never experienced it, well, in this lifetime. You really just begin to start asking serious questions and start searching for answers. Like, is there more to life? What else am I here for? Those deeper, profound, like, what is the meaning of my life? Those deep, profound questions. You start asking more questions and searching for answers. And that's literally one of the first phases that you will feel after your awakening. So after that initial feeling of searching and looking for answers internally or externally, I know myself, I went to see a psychic because I was like, can someone tell me what's going on? Because I feel like I'm going crazy. And I just felt my emotions were super high. My anxiety was through the roof. I was like, what is happening? I couldn't leave my house without feeling extremely anxious. So I went to see a psychic and she kind of opened me up to realize that what I was having was a spiritual experience. She didn't use the word spiritual awakening, but she just said, you're starting to open up to who you truly are, basically. So after those initial feelings of searching and trying to figure out, why is this happening? What does this mean? The next thing, typically, once you figure out that you're going through a spiritual experience, your spiritual awakening, that's what leads you into the next phase, which is you're doing your inner healing work, doing the work to figure out why you are the way that you are, what things in your past or in your childhood are still holding you back energetically. And that phase of the journey, the healing, first of all, the healing never stops, but the phase of the dark night of the soul where the healing is very painful and the healing is really, you can feel at times that you're going through somewhat of a depression. That phase of the journey lasts as long as your soul needs it to. So basically, how long is it going to take you to start to really understand yourself, your soul, do your inner healing work? So you're doing this inner work and you're really figuring out who you are. You're figuring out what things trigger you. You're figuring out what things hold you back and what things have kept you held back in your life. You're figuring out your family dynamics. You're figuring out just like really truly who you are on a really deep level. And you're learning to heal and release those deep, heavy emotions that have kept you in pain and in lack. Once you start to really clear these things out of the way, clear them from your energetic field, basically, you really start to feel lighter and you will start to realize a lot of things about yourself, like maybe some gifts that you have. Your gifts might come on very strongly. I know with me, like I said, my third eye, I see things sometimes before they play out. So I get most of my premonitions, visions, whatever you want to call it. I don't like titles, and so that's why I always struggle when it comes with a title. But I guess you would say that I'm clairvoyant and at times I'm clairaudient. So at times I can hear messages or at times I can see messages play out through my third eye. I'm visual, which it's kind of funny, but I'm telling you, when you have your spiritual awakening, you start to realize a lot of things about yourself. And I feel like that's why my eyes are so big, because I used to get made fun of because of my eyes, right? And now I'm like, oh, my eyes are big because like that's part of my gift. Like I see things, and as a kid, I saw spirits and things like that. And so when I had my spiritual awakening, I started to really understand what that was. And I started to be able to understand my gifts, and I started to be able to understand how to use them to not only help myself, but help my community and help my friends, help my clients. And I know a lot of people have gifts out there. There's people who are natural healers. I was speaking to someone the other day and he said that he has the ability to basically put his hand over somebody's body and he can feel heat or he can feel pain just by waving his hand over it. And we are naturally healers. We are naturally gifted. And we forget that when we come to this earth. We forget that we have these if you want, I hate titles, okay? If you want to call it powers, sure, but I call them gifts. So once you start to really realize these things, your gifts and, the things that trigger you, and you're clearing all of those things up, you will really start to feel like you have changed internally completely as a person. You will feel like I'm just a completely different person, and you will realize by looking at the life around you, none of these things resonate with me anymore. None of these things make me feel good anymore. The relationship that I had does not align with me anymore, or the family dynamics that I have followed or, been in my whole life do not serve me, and they don't align with me anymore. So at this point in your journey, you will start to make external changes. You've done a lot of the inner work and you've done a lot of the inner healing. So at this point, you start to say, how can I make my life reflect this new person that I am inside? And so some of you might be like me and be like, I'm quitting my job, I'm moving across country, I'm starting my own business, I'm working with women, I'm helping women heal. You're just stepping into who you truly are, and that's a beautiful thing. And so do not listen to anyone else and what other people have to say. That's another thing. People might start to think that you're crazy, or they'll be like, oh, she's changed. And yes, I've changed. I'm a better person now. Like, I'm proud of that. Speaking of change, one of the last steps that I feel we will all experience in this journey, if you're going through your own spiritual journey or your spiritual awakening, is that at the end of the day, you will really start to embrace the changes in your life, and you will really start to sense and feel that this was the life that you were meant to live the whole time. You will start to feel a sense of peace, inner peace, and you will just know that, first of all, you are the creator of your own life. Second of all, the journey never ends, and that's okay. Third of all, you get to experience the most beautiful highs and lows of life, and you will enjoy every single moment of it. And then fourth, you're now enjoying this new beautiful chapter in your life that you have created. You've worked to get here. You have done the work to get here. You deserve everything that is now manifesting into your reality. Because at this point of the journey, once you've done a lot of the healing work, once you've done a lot of the soul searching, once you've gone through your dark night of the soul and things like that, you will start to manifest things powerfully. And it's because you are aligning. You are no longer in those lower vibrations, and you're aligning now to who you were truly meant to be the whole time. So you get to this point of self-mastery, of inner peace, of manifesting powerfully. I call it, you are now a master manifester. You will start to realize these changes, and you will embrace it, and you will be happy, and you will start to feel excited about life, because what's playing out in front of you is the life that you always wanted to create for yourself. So like I was saying, for anyone out there, if you are going through that healing phase, that dark night of the soul phase, just know there is beautiful blessings awaiting you on the other side of all of that healing work that you were doing. All of the inner work that you are doing that nobody sees. I see it. I recognize you. I see you. I honor you. I'm proud of you. I know how tough it can be. And I also just want to extend my hand to you, because I am a spiritual coach. If you need any guidance, or if any of these things align to you and you're like, oh my God, I can totally relate, I feel like I'm going through some of those phases now, please reach out to me. Find me on Instagram. Let's connect. I would love to help you along your journey. When I went through a lot of my inner healing and figuring out who I truly am, what I am here for, what I'm meant to do, I realized that this is part of my journey. This is my soul mission. My soul mission is to help other women heal. Maybe down the line, it will be men as well. But I am truly here to help people heal. I'm truly here to help the collective realize their own power and their own potential and their own ability to create whatever life that they want for themselves. It just comes from doing the inner work, doing the healing, and aligning to that chapter that you want to manifest into your life. My information will be in the description below. So give this video a like if some of these things resonate with you. And if you want me to do more videos like this, speaking about spirituality, and I didn't really get into Kundalini energy, but that might be something that I might do in the future. So let me know in the comments, send me a like, send me a message, whatever it may be, okay? I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.